Hey, yo, what's up? It's your main man, Bud, cuz Mr. No Faking on Clown Silly TV. Now, usually, I was supposed to have the episode out Monday, man. I worked hard to try to do so, but looking at the last one we had last Monday, I wanted it to be a little bit better. And plus, we had a lot of stuff going on with the protesting of a young because of a young man, Daryl Ross, who was shot, gunned down in the back by the police. Once again, in this film they put out, and to say that he reached for his gun, and that's the reason why they shot him. But that film is kind of manipulating because there are witnesses that said he was actually shot beforehand, allegedly. But the thing here is what I'm trying to figure out is any person, any man, woman in this world, you dig, could have the heart to 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 kill if it's deemed necessary. But different situations and different consequences will determine, how fast or slow you will do it. Now we have an army who's in the war that knows that their job at that time of war is to kill, to protect and serve, for the country. And it's understand. I get it. I'm not saying nothing about it or wrong with it. I'm just saying the mindset of knowing that I'm killing these people because that's my job and I have to, and there will be no consequences, will make you go quicker than actually if you are in tour with somebody, got beef with somebody or anything like that. So you might hesitate thinking about the law. You might hesitate thinking about the get back. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that make a man hesitate. Now, these guys who we pay taxes for and put in these blue suits, you know, they seem to have a itchy finger. You know what I'm saying? They seem to pull the trigger sooner than they will being just a citizen. And I'm trying to figure out, is it the law? Is it the actual laws that's made that give them that freedom? You know what I mean? Because if I being out here in the streets some time ago when I was younger and seeing the activity, how guys handle their situations with beef and shit like that, they seem to wait nighttime, they plot, plan, because of the fact they got things to worry about, like going to jail, being held accountable for committing that type of a crime. So, and having to be accountable for committing that type of crime, they seem to, they're a little bit, they're not too fast to do so unless they have what we call that in the moment passion. That's another story. You know what I'm saying? It's something that can be emotionally so passionate to you that what I'm saying, you go without thinking. But other than that, in most cases, men, women, they sit back and think about what they're gonna do. They think about why they're gonna do it. Sometimes they think and talk themselves out of it. Sometimes they go along with it and go ahead and do what it is. But when it comes to these guys with these blue suits on, it's like that part of it they're not worried about. And that makes a very big difference when it comes down to killing a person. When it comes down to killing a person, the fact that you will have to deal with the law, it makes a big difference. It changes things drastically. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said, just like the military, when they're at war, they're not going to be arrested for killing the oppositions. They're not going to be arrested for killing the other side. So they do it, at will, just like straight like that. You know what I'm saying? You got people that get into it, and yeah, right then and there at the crime scene, they might trip, do what they do, and then they know they done fucked up. They trying to figure it out. They know they done fucked up. But when you know that, hey, I can do this and nothing's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? When you know, hey, I can shoot this guy, I can kill this guy, and ain't nothing gonna happen. Oh yeah, it makes it a whole lot easier. So I'm trying to see, because we not gonna. I definitely don't believe that everybody with the blue suits on or tougher, rougher. than a lot of these, regular civilians. So what makes them do it? If they not tougher than you are, or they don't have more heart than you, or they don't even have that type of background of violence, then how is it that they got more murders under their belt than you do? How come it is that they draw their gun and shoot quicker than than the so-called thug will? That's what they call it. It's because it has to be something written in that law that makes them feel like they can get it off and get away with it. And when you feel like you can get it off and get away with it, it tends to happen a whole lot quicker. And it's seeming to be the problem of our young black men. You know what I'm saying? Our children. You dig? Our seeds. It seems like they not even getting a chance because there's something about that law that let these blue suits kill them instantly for anything that they doing wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and never say that all those kids are perfect. They are perfect in their parents' eyes. But I mean, as far as whatever activities they get into, whatever they may commit a crime or may not. But I don't think that that's enough for them to be killed. We talking 16 years old, man. 16 years old, 18 years old. We talking these are kids, man. And one thing we know, before we reach the age that we are now, the age that I am now, I learned from a lot of my mistakes. I learned from a lot of my mistakes. Saying that, having to say that at those ages, that's when you're learning. You know what I'm saying? That's when you're becoming a man. That's when you start to learn your morals, your values, your core beliefs. That's that time that's being bred into you. Now, it is a fact that we started back. We didn't have a head start. So it's a lot of stuff that we probably indulge in our kids that might not be right. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we not perfect. It's a lot of stuff with dealing with poverty that causes our children to make bad decisions. But the decision is not bad enough to be killed. No, not at all. I do not believe that at all. I've seen some real cases. I've seen movies, documentaries, movies based on true stories where you have kids that come from a different background. They have a different type of culture that done all type of things. In college, in high school, or they wrongly done women. They mistreated women, and due to their positioning, they parents or whoever, maybe they got the money to buy their way out the situation. To buy their way out of it. But one thing about it is they're not being killed for it. They're not being killed for it. Whether if it's a man out here, whether if he's selling drugs, I'm not even gonna give the room to argue against if or if not. If people are selling drugs, does that mean that they should be killed? If someone is running from the police, running away from them, do that mean he should be killed? I believe, from what I've known in the law, they're no longer a threat when they're running. There have been cases where a man has broken somebody's house, man, ran out the house, and the man chased him and hit him with a bat. Boom. When he hit him with the bat, that bat killed him. And you know what? They sent that man, they convicted that man of involuntary manslaughter. They convicted him of a murder because they said he was trying to plead his case. Hey, he got my wallet on him right now. And they were pleading it, and he tried to plead the case, and they were telling him, hey, once he started running away from you, he was no longer a threat. No matter what was going on. Yeah, we see he got your wallet, so we know that he obviously broke into your crib. Whether he had a weapon or not, he broke into your crib. But once he started to flee, he was no longer a threat. So is it the same, you know what I'm saying, with our blue suit people or not? Because once somebody is running from you, it's obvious that they're scared of something. they might not, they may be scared to go to jail. They might be scared for their life. They might be scared for their family to find out that they was dealing with the police or dealing in any illegal activities. There's so many reasons why they would run. But you chasing them, if you do not catch them or cannot catch them, the next thing is to shoot to kill. Okay, you shoot him and you wounded him. If he's wounded, he definitely won't be able to outrun you. If he's wounded and he's falling down, whether you see a weapon or not, it's to the point to where it can easily be detained without killing or shooting him anymore. So what is it that make you shoot to kill? Is it the law that relaxes you, or is this something written in our constitutional laws that make you feel like you can do that? I mean, or is this some type of morals? Is this something inside you? What is it that make this happen, man? Well, whatever it is, it can't continue, man. It can't continue. I've always been a person of justice within my culture. I've always had something inside me that wanted to learn more about the history, you know what I'm saying, that wanted to be able to do something if I could. So I said about 8 years ago is when I actually got all the way involved as I am now. And from then up until now, from 2014, if you know, the footwork, you know what I'm saying, the sweat and tears, the blood that I put in for this, man. I done got beat, I done got maced, I done got shot with bean bags, I've been arrested several times, and it never made me want to quit coming out here to fight for was what I believe is right for our justice. So from 8 years ago up until now, to see it happen again, it's like a big slap in the motherfucking face, man. It's like a slap in the face for us to put in that much work, and then to see the shit just replay itself like it's nothing. It's like a slap in the face. So now it come time that we have to get together. Any and everybody who cares about justice, who cares about the injustice that is happening, who cares about our young children being killed, we got to come together. We got to come together and fuck a title. You can call me what you want. You can call activist, protester, I'm advocate. I don't give a fuck what the title is. There's no price to pay me. There's nothing owed to me. This is all from the heart. And anybody who give any kind of fuck, then we need to come together and start making this shit happen. If you know, you know. You know where to look. You know where to go to find out what's happening. You know where to go to find out what's going on. So it's time for a second to realize what it is that's really going on. I mean, or if you're a person and you feel like you have a paid position, then I don't have a problem with it. And nothing is wrong with it to me. If you have a paid position and you have to complete your duties to get paid, then so be it. So be it. But we don't want to confuse the two, because as a protester, as a activist, whatever the fuck they want to call it, there's no price to be paid to get out here and fight, to get out here and to try to stand for something. I'm not, and please don't get it wrong, because I love all my sisters and brothers, and I love anybody who even attempt to make a change. You know, I'm not. It's nothing wrong. If, like I said, if you got a paid position, then you're an employee. You got to do what you got to do to get paid. And I know this, but like I said, we just don't want to. I don't want to confuse the two, because you know when if it's to the point to where you have to get paid. If you have a paid position, then that means your employer or whoever it is that's funding or paying you, you have to meet. I guess they require whatever. I don't know, because I don't get paid to do this shit. I have a job. I have a job. I work the job. I get paid for the job. Some stuff I can't speak on because I really don't know about it. I heard shit, but I know this much as as an activist, as a protester, as one who care and try to fight for our justice. That in my eyes, I see no figures. It's not that you couldn't even pay me enough. It's not a payment for me. It's a fight for me. But there are different positions. Everybody have to play whatever part there is that they play. I met a lot of people 8 years ago, man, that I call family. I met a lot of people 8 years ago that I now will say I love. You know what I'm saying? They are family to me. And as 8 years from 8 years ago up until now, some of us have learned different things. Some of us have started to engage into different things, and they know different shit. There's a lot of shit that a lot of people didn't know 8 years. I didn't know 8 years ago. I've learned some shit myself, but I choose to do what it is that I've already been doing that I do. And those who have evolved and took a step further, to produce in other type of ways, we need y'all too. Because 8 years ago, it wasn't our people, it wasn't us, you know, coming in to find the financial aid, to find the financial resources. It wasn't coming from us, it was coming from outside entities that we didn't even know. So here we go 8 years later. If some of us have evolved to the point to where they've learned and they know what to do, then so be it. And we need y'all too. And I need y'all because I'd rather see y'all taking care of that aspect of this ongoing fight for justice. I'd rather see my people in them seats, in them positions, rather than seeing somebody who's just trying to gain and keep moving. If from 8 years ago up until now, I see a lot of the same people who had their hearts involved, who was really fighting for it. And I seen that those same people are the ones who still fight. Those same people are the ones who have evolved to fill in other spots that we didn't know about. And that is, to me, that's excellent. That's great. I love it. But one thing that I would like is for everybody to come together and be what we were. True enough, that was a long, 8 years ago, man, that was a fight that went for a while, and I know a lot of it was it started to get overwhelming, man. Because you had everything. You couldn't tell the difference between somebody who was a real protester, a real fighter, versus someone that's trying to gain. You couldn't tell the difference. It started to get crazy. So that's when we had to stick with our ones that we know. So here it is, 8 years later. It's still a fight. It's still a fight. And we have to come together and recognize and respect each other's mind. When they say respect my mind, that just means we agree to disagree. That just means, hey, I understand what you're saying, but I just see it in a different way. That just means, yeah, you know what? Not only I understand you, I'm leaning towards that side now. I might change my mind. But you have to understand one another to even say what somebody else's idea is right or wrong. If you don't even understand what it is that they're doing, how in the hell could you even kind of say that's not the way? How could you even try to convince somebody to see it your way without even knowing the other ways? So all I say is we all have to understand each other. Let's get that in order. Let's understand each other Because one thing I know for sure, the top of the list, the very top of the list, the goals is for a change. It's to make progress. That's the goal. No big eyes, no little U's, no none of that shit. Everybody position, everything that somebody does that's working towards progress, it counts just as much as anything else. Just as much as anything else. To come out here and, and, and peacefully protest is just as important as gaining the resources to help finance the protesters so that they can keep doing what they do. Every position is important, but we have to learn one another about what's going on now. We don't have to meet each other. We know each other. Like I said, we all family. We love each other. We don't have to meet each other, but we do need to catch up with what everybody is doing, with what everybody got on their mind, so that it won't be no confusion. You can't tell me what Sally doing when Sally can tell me herself. You can't tell me what Joe doing if Joe can tell me himself. You can't say what I'm doing. I can tell you myself. And we all understand each other and we all know what each other is trying to do, then we work towards the bigger goal. Now, enough with that. But the bottom line, to the main point of this, I did want to reach out to some of my people. You know, I have no problem with none of them. I love you all. But I'm trying to also not just preach to the choir. I'm trying to grab people who's not even aware about what's going on. If y'all don't know what's going on, as of right now, there's a kid, a young 16-year-old honor roll student. His name is Dura Ross. He was gunned down. He was shot and killed by the police. You can go. This is public information. You go to Channel 4 News. You can see the clip that they put out. You know, you can see what they saying, how it's being narrated. You know, what's allegedly this, allegedly that. You know, but you know, I've been on the ground a little bit, and you know, I've seen a few people out there that were witnesses that this kind of saying that I'm not there's no shots at no media or anything. It's just, you know, what you see is what you get. So according to the witnesses, what a lot of people saw is not exactly just black and white like that. You know, there's something that needs to be talked about. There's something that needs to be addressed. So like I said, man, if you out there, if you've been coming out there, if you are aware, that's great, that's sweet. We need to keep going, and we need to make everybody else aware. But there's a fight going on, and we need each other. Like I said, Dura Ross, honor roll student, was shot and killed by the police. You know, and it's sad. Like I said, you can go look at the news clip that they put out. You can check Channel 4 News. That's where I see it at. You know, that's where you can see it at. But that's where we get from them. But we gotta all come together. You got to come outside to find out the what's and the who's, and you know what to do and you know how to do it. So hey, I love y'all. Clown Silly TV. You dig? Make sure you go subscribe. Get with it.